to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse. Worse. Worse.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can I not do that anymore? Should I not do testing 1, 2, 3, which I did?
You hear yourself? You don't even have headphones on.
I know, but I always do that for the people. Like, here's the deal.
He doesn't do testing 1, 2, like it means nothing to him. He's not doing it to actually test anything. He just likes saying testing 1, 2, 3.
When you have a mic in front of you, you're supposed to go testing 1, 2, 3. I thought.
Yeah. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Well,
It does feel good. Yeah.
Doesn't it?
It feels great.
Yeah. So we did.
We have a sound guy usually at our other podcast, which we'll get to, and he would always test the sound before we started, and then we'd go, and he'd still go testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you'd be like, no, he already tested it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Bonnie's what you call a snitch in the business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we had our podcast, My Wife Hates Me.
He's also not supposed to have gum in, but
Right.
We did probably 508. It was like, I think 580 episodes over like 12 years.
Speaking of that, well, I don't know.
No, it's definitely over 5 without a guest ever. No guest. One time we had Florentine come in the beginning,
Right.
and we thought it was going to be funny, but he really tried to be our.
He tried to help us with our marriage.
Yeah, no,
it sucks.
he really tried. Said,
He's never been the same since.
Right.
So we say we got to do something different. In our basement, we had a nice studio and stuff in our basement. We have a big house. We're doing well, and pool, sauna.
Sauna?
Yeah, I put a sauna in a Florida room. We have a Florida room.
Oh, Florida room.
I'll show you. Yeah.
What is the Florida room?
You're not allowed to say gay in it.
What?
That's right. That is correct.
Florida room is a screened-in room, right? Explain it.
It's like a deck, but it's all screened in.
Okay.
It's like
great.
Sunroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a TV in it.
It's like being outside, except no bugs or anything. You
Right,
know?
yeah.
It's like there's
what
a
we looked at that house when we went up to
got it.
the last house we looked at.
yeah. It's got a bar in there. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's
great.
setup.
And it's got a refrigerator and stuff. Anyhow, so we're starting this new podcast. The new name, instead of My Wife Hates Me, you tell them the name if you
Oh,
want.
you don't remember it?
I do remember. It's called For Worse.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like that
Great.
name?
Yeah,
Is that a
I
good
like
name?
it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And our first guest in our first new podcast is Annie and Rosebud, or Rosebud and Andy. Is that?
Yeah.
Either way.
Either way, you could
I
say
tend
it.
to like top billing, but whatever.
I liked it the first way.
You did?
When he said your name Annie,
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard
I said
Annie as
Andy.
well.
That's
I
okay.
heard Annie.
Annie, did I,
was
say
like-
Annie or Andy?
you said Annie.
That's okay. I'm
I was scared he
transitioning.
didn't know who you were.
You said Annie and Rose.
I said
like,
Annie. No, Andy.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Listen, the sun will come up tomorrow. I was thinking of the play.
Right.
No. God,
So that's good. So we're the first guests.
they're the first guest.
You guys are rebranding.
We're rebranding, and look, when we did
Well,
And
I
we-
said I'll do the pod. I wanted to quit the old podcast.
Yeah.
Because people would say, "Oh, is it like help your relationship?" Going over all these things, and I felt it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't
We
know
had
if
it.
anything will help it, but that certainly didn't.
Yeah, that's sort of why we quit ours.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a little too
did
much.
you fight a lot on it?
We would
Yes.
fight on it, and then the worst was when you would be fighting on it, and one of us would just get up and turn off the camera. And,
Oh, we weren't allowed to do that. There was a time where I had to leave and take a call. I was being interviewed by the New York Post. And
Times.
no, I think it was the Post.
Oh.
but that's nice.
I'd
of you
love
that-
it that I was this desperate for the times that I was actually desperate for the Post. So I go, oh, stop. I got to take. He goes, we don't stop the podcast. And I went in the bedroom and he's banging on the door. It's all on the podcast.
Oh.
He'd never shut it off.
Oh my God.
While I'm trying to do an interview with the Post.
Well, first of all, I don't think that's true.
It is 1,000,000%. I kept saying to them,
Why would
it's
she make that up?
Let me tell
you can go look it up in the archive.
Okay, here's the thing. Bonnie's very talented, clever. she exaggerates. I mean, at a whole nother level.
The what I've told you is true.
I
Do you
feel
exaggerate?
like that.
I don't know what part I exaggerated. You definitely banged on the door while I was talking to the person from the Post.
Yeah.
You definitely
none
kept
of
the
that feels
podcast
like
going.
Out of left field for you.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything people don't already know.
My wife exaggerates too. It's okay.
That's
I mean,
horseshit.
a whole nother level.
That's absolute.
We'll have like a
bullshit.
day that's kind of stressful, and we'll get home, and she'll get on the phone, and she'll be like, "Today was a nightmare. It was absolutely. It was worse
That's hyperbolic,
than the Holocaust."
but that's not.
And I'm
That's
like,
not.
"What are you
I've
talking
never
about?"
said worse than the Holocaust. Don't throw that out there just because Rich is here.
What does that have
I
to do with
swear.
Oh my god!
I'll be hyperbolic because I know how to tell a story.
First of
Yeah,
all,
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
we don't use words that everybody doesn't know what they mean.
Oh, also on the podcast, I was never allowed to use I mean, I would say words that I just felt were pretty normal words
Yeah.
to use, and he would.
Just regular vernacular.
Just trying to rub your
Vernacular,
Oh,
that's one that he doesn't want you to be using.
Andy, welcome to the writer's room.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh, this is already horrific.
I actually used to be a writer. They kicked me out because I didn't know what vernacular meant.
Yeah, you got to know that one.
She's just rubbing her Canadian education system in our face. Bullshit.
Thank you. You know what? See, the day I met Andy at the Cellar, I liked him from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because the one thing we have in common, too.
Same,
And
but
same-
it'll
yeah.
it'll change.
It'll-
Wait long enough.
Well,
Like his,
no,
just kidding.
I'm not gay yet.
no, I feel like he's trying to make you feel better about, your situation. And then at some point he's going to get tired of doing that.
Who,
And then,
Andy?
yeah,
It's a situation.
You feel
being
like
a
we're
dummy.
maybe ganging up on him a little bit.
Well, I will tell you this. You said the first time at the Cellar, but in fact, I featured for you in 2008 at Seattle.
Oh, the real
Remember that
Andy.
really
With Terry,
shitty-
Crazy Terry.
No, remember the really shitty club that was there for it was across the street from where the Sonics played?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing you liked about it was that you played golf. You were like, I brought my clubs, and that was the only thing that saved the weekend.
It was, yeah. It
It was a
horrible.
nightmare space,
Yeah, kind of.
Worse than the Holocaust.
in a way.
So I'll tell you where I feel bad, kind of.
Okay.
When these two got married, they had a wedding. It was beautiful. It was out at Washington Square Park. But I just kind of wore my red jacket, the Dickie one. I look good in red. And people were...
A Dickie jacket?
Yeah.
To a wedding?
He came dressed like he was
Yeah.
in West Side Story.
Yeah, but I didn't... Some people were dressed regular, but most were dressed up.
Yeah.
I come from the school of regular.
You were mad at our wedding that people in my family didn't dress up enough.
They came in flannels.
I mean,
It was at a
they're
moose
farm
lodge.
people. They were dragging dead moose through the lobby of the hotel.
Where are you from in Canada?
Oh, don't do that with your upper lip when you ask.
Sorry. What part of Canada are you?
That's better.
We're gonna
Western Canada,
You are?
Alberta,
Oh, which part?
very Cold Lake,
Okay.
Alberta.
Are you from Canada?
No, I
He's
worked
gonna
the
drop an
prairies a lot.
anecdote.
At where?
I worked the prairies a lot.
Oh, Edmonton?
Little Edmonton, but mainly Calgary. Red Deer.
Okay, yeah. So it's
Horrible
it's
rooms.
much more north.
Not
than
not
that.
Calgary. Calgary's great.
That's what do you call it? I was up there last week for 3 nights plus New Year's Eve, and Bonnie and I were going to see her family and stuff, but she had to leave early, and I'm stuck up there. And she took my daughter, and Raina must have been so happy because my daughter got to come home during for New Year's Eve, or else she would have been up in Cold Lake playing card and big. I mean, they're big on games up there. Her family, because
It's fun.
it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And it's
Were
fun.
you able to get bagels anywhere? Were you?
I don't. Really? Maybe I'll put this away. But
But his first instinct wasn't that. He was like, I don't eat carbs.
Yeah, I was trying to be vaguely anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was
like,
like-
I don't eat bagels. I'm carb cutting.
just go to Colombia.
All right, so you go to their wedding. You're wearing this red jacket.
Yeah, I wasn't this dressed up, but I don't think
And-
Keith was either. Or there was a couple.
Right.
I don't remember what the fuck
But you-
anybody was wearing except for you. To be
No,
honest.
get the fuck
my
out of here.
I don't
God.
remember what anyone was wearing except for what Rich was wearing and it didn't bother me at all.
No.
But it did stand out in the photos in a major way.
I will say this.
It did.
That's what he's doing.
It did draw focus.
He didn't. It
You know Jeremy Strong at the Golden Globes?
Yes,
That's Rich.
it was
He's
very
like,
He had a
like that.
fedora. He had a fedora, and he
Yeah.
had matching Jordans. I remember this. He had
Yes.
matching. He had
Yeah.
the platinum Jordans.
Whatever I had that were red.
Yeah, they were red. They had red
Yeah, I'm
soles.
gonna
Oh, he
match
matched
for a
his
wedding.
Number one boy at the
Okay,
wedding.
It was a,
Yeah.
it was a-
but you said you felt bad. So did you want to apologize? Is that what this is? Where this
why
is going?
is it always an apology with you?
Oh no,
No, I told my
I'm sorry. This you guys are seeing. That's why I would get hit after a podcast. But now I say I'll do it if there's other people around. You were the. I'm just saying. Where was it going? You said I felt bad. I was wearing
that's
red.
The
So what's?
apologies. Tell him I felt bad that I didn't.
Oh, okay. You don't want to
Yes,
actually use those words. Great. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry if I was out of place the way I was dressed.
Isn't that what you were going
I-
for from the beginning of the story?
No, I just wanted to
Well,
bring it
I'll
up.
think about forgiving you.
I don't.
I'll think about it.
Here's
Yeah.
the weird thing
I
about.
appreciate the apology, but I'm just
It's
gonna
not really an
marinate on it.
apology.
She's
I
not
just,
there yet.
I
I'm just gonna
said,
kind of chew on it for a little while.
See, this is the weird thing I don't understand is that we'll get in a fight and I'll be like, I'm sorry. And that is, it has to be like a real.
No, because you never fucking mean it. You never.
But that's what I mean. Like, there's like this need. And if she does something I don't need, I'm not like, you know what would be great?
Yeah.
Is an apology. I've never said that once in my life.
Yeah, because I give you a.
I
will
feel like when the
apologize.
minute that I do something wrong, or he'll say, "Don't use that tone of voice," I'll immediately backtrack and go, "I'm sorry, I
That's
shouldn't have done that."
exactly.
And so there's no blow up, there's no fight. When I'm in the wrong, there's never
that's
any
not
issue.
true, but you keep
Yeah.
doing it. You think I'll change or
No, it's
I
because
won't
we
do
don't
it
say
again.
anything.
But he will fight back so hard. And say that he shouldn't have to give an apology until 2 days later he's giving an apology, and you know
Yeah.
it's like carries on.
Yeah, because I want dinner.
Jesus.
He doesn't know how to do Uber Eats, but
No,
it has to go
You don't
through
give him
my
access
phone.
to the
Yeah.
account.
He's like, I don't want to be locked out of Amazon Prime again.
look, we all fuck up. We make mistakes, but she doesn't understand. Like, it's a not only a marriage, it's a business too. You know, keep whatever.
I haven't heard this one yet.
Yes, you have the whole wheel to turn to to build a house. You need a foundation. So everybody is part of the building of the house in the house.
Right.
But only one person's in charge of cleaning it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Both
but
people are in charge of building the house.
look,
I'm actually the cleaner.
That's such horseshit, Andy.
I
I can't
love
stand
it.
this
She's
fucking.
kidding. She's getting
This
mad
is
still.
such horseshit. I swear to God. He talks like he's the only one who cleans in the apartment.
do
It's
some
because
cleaning.
anytime he cleans, he thinks he's like going out of the like he's doing something
helping
that he
you.
shouldn't be doing.
Right.
yes,
I'm like, you
He's
are
a
supposed
man.
to be doing that, just like I'm supposed to be doing it. And then I don't get like, super.
Did I come with this kind of energy to this at all?
No, because you're being a fucking right. I don't know what your vibe is right now, but I really don't like it.
we don't talk vibes.
I'm not upset. I'm being calm. Fuck off. I hate
True.
this shit.
It's true.
I hate when he does this fucking smug, like, I'm not upset. You're yelling. I'm not yelling.
Oh, I'm
I'll
starting to feel like
fucking kill
maybe it's
myself
you
in
and I.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
I'll snap. I'll chew my wrists open in front of you. Clean that up.
Yeah. Oh, I could wear red to that.
Yeah. That's perfect.
No, I did. Like I'll do like okay. For Christmas, I got the family this
What are you pointing at?
because it's on the wall. I put it on. the wall.
We know what
Pun-
walls are.
It's,
Yeah, just
you
use,
punch.
use your
Oh, it's
words.
a punching thing.
Yeah, but with music.
Oh,
We
okay.
have a bag, we have a gym, but just another thing to do in the workout room. But who's the one who sets it up? Who's the one who puts it on a board, puts it on the wall? Does it? you can't just use it. It's got to be
Well, that makes a little
it's
sense.
built. Yeah, but there's stuff around the house, anything to do with carpentry or landscaping.
We
or
call
whatever.
someone.
No, I do, so much
do you do the
stuff.
landscaping?
I don't
We
cut
have
the lawn, but I do.
landscapers.
Who
That's a
planted
bit.
all-
I'm here to fucking bust you
No,
on
who
that.
planted all
That
these
has been a lie.
No, listen to me. Listen to me. Who planted all those trees? Went to the nursery.
This
got
is
the
a funny
trees.
thing about Rich, which he's gonna blow up on this.
No,
but
I'm
I
not
mean
gonna-
it in the best possible way. It's like a touching character thing that you have where he has to do everything twice. He literally has to do everything twice
No.
because the first time he fucks it up. So and the last place we lived, we planted all these trees. I come out, I go, he dug all the holes. I go, don't you have to measure like from the road? It's supposed to be a certain thing. Of course, it's not far enough from the road. Once he realizes we have to dig them all up.
We-
Like a
I
code?
did the digging.
Like a code thing?
No, just
Yes,
in
yeah.
case. It's not a code. It's just
It has to be a certain distance from the
Like a
road.
zoning thing.
Yes. And then
you're talking to renters.
we go to
True.
no everything he does, even this thing that he's talking about. Oh, so sometimes he'll do something wrong and he'll just duct tape it, and I'll go, "You can't duct tape it." Then he gets really mad at me. He gets like, "So don't get mad at me now. Just
Yeah,
let
relax
it
your
flow,
body.
let it flow, let it flow." And
walking
then
a dog on a
because
leash.
the thing is, I'm not telling lies and I'm not exaggerating. This is the truth.
I do so many things that are right.
You're amazing all the time. You're amazing all the time. But there is this one weird quirk that you have where, like, when he set up the punching musical thing, it was upside down. And I said,
because there were three.
so he just wants to
buttons. You
leave it.
couldn't
I said,
tell.
you can't. You got to just. I mean,
Yeah, I
Gotta
turned it
do it
on.
right.
Yeah,
right.
I
So it did
did.
take him a lot longer than it should have taken.
But see, you couldn't. It was an honest mistake. I
yeah,
still
of course.
built it.
No, you didn't do it on purpose.
You just fucked it up naturally.
Yeah, no. Everything you do is an honest
Why don't
mistake.
you be our guest every week?
That is going to change the dynamic, though, because as renters, we don't have to do any of the like hard stuff.
Well,
when
we're
we
not
buy-
moving someplace. We're looking for a house. right?
Yeah. Where?
So-
In Jersey?
No, in the city. And I was like, because
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
because you work it. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, we work here. And also, I was just like, I think we went out to look at a place in Ardsley at night.
Wait. What's Ardsley? Is that?
It's like towards
Upstate.
Tarrytown. It's where Bobby lived.
Oh, yeah. So you're not the city. You're talking Westchester,
That's
right?
originally like we went to go do kind of a trial run.
And we went to go look at this place, but it was on a night that both of us had spots. And we were out there, and I was like, how the fuck would this actually work? Because the traffic was crazy going out there and coming back. And I was like, there's no way this would actually work, especially if I kept working now at SNL, which I don't think I'll be there that much longer, but it's like, it's just not going to work.
Well,
So we
I
finally-
would have to pay absolutely more money for the babysitter than I was making
Yeah.
many nights if I went in on the weeknights.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
I mean,
it was
yeah,
like I was
constantly.
taking a hit to come in, but I was thinking like, I always thought I just got to keep like a little bit on the. I couldn't go on the
Relevant.
road. Yeah, I mean, I just had to keep my whatever
Yeah.
juices going in stand up a bit, so that when I was ready to come back, I would
Right.
be able to come back. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think where we live, we're an hour from the city,
great.
without traffic. But we have property, a big house, base, everything you could want. Golf courses, supermarket, everything you want in life.
with
Say a
supermarkets.
and he just fucking loses his mind.
Yeah, no,
That's
but
what I want. I want a back door that I can
like,
let
I
our
want
dumb
parking.
little
Yes.
dog out.
Yeah, so
yes, we had. That's
I have to go down 5 flights to let this animal out. and-
my
but
God.
here's the difference, though. You guys are a lot younger. We're at a point where I couldn't live in the city. There's no reason for me. I even when I'm off on, like, if I'm not on the road and I'll do a weekend in the city,
Yeah.
I kind of don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Because 15 minutes isn't going to do anything for me.
Right.
I just come in to be social and show my face and still stay a little relevant at this point. But at some point when you have kids, I think, and I could be wrong because people do it all the time in New York, but better school systems. You don't have to pay for school
Right.
when you move out of the city. It's crazy that people are paying for kindergarten in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To send your kid to fucking kindergarten costs you 40, 50, whatever, you know.
Do you guys have friends out there?
Well,
'Cause
I
that's the thing
Florida.
we worry about. Like if we went out to the suburbs, it would just be the two of us, and that would probably be a little too much.
no, because I have friends. Last night, I picked up a guy that I went to a meeting with.
Yeah, the new friends.
And I have friends from
He goes to Walmart a lot.
No, I love Walmart.
I do that in Maine when we're up at our mom's house. I always have a reason to go to Walmart.
Yeah,
I love
well,
it.
of course.
He comes back with nothing. You're like,
That's
what are you doing at
bullshit. He thinks
Walmart?
I'm blowing guys behind Walmart. She thinks it's
There's
Just
a-
because of the picture. That's crazy.
There's a cocksucking ring behind Walmart, and
Because
he's
there's jizz in the car seat.
on my chin.
Doesn't mean
Okay, but I also have friends I play golf with. That they're golf friends. But
Right.
my real friends in life are comics. But they're all on the road or somewhere.
Yeah.
Norton or Bobby or Colin or Keith. No one's really.
that is one thing. You're not going to make friends.
right,
What's that?
right.
I mean, you have a totally different lifestyle than everyone else in the
Who
suburbs.
does?
Yeah.
I mean, people see us leaving. Sometimes, like, my neighbor will be like, I saw you leaving at like 8:00 last night.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah. I mean,
That's what I do.
I know they still don't really believe it. They think you're working so hard, but you're like, well, I did nothing all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to work. Like,
Right.
that's my hour.
Yeah. I feel like that's even just like since having a kid, it's weird because I don't, like you meet other moms when you have a kid and then you're trying to like relate to them, but you don't quite relate. Like I can relate to other comics who are moms,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but that's it. I don't have like friends that are moms.
It's hard.
It doesn't.
Well, I remember, because when Raina was a baby, she would sleep until I'd put her to bed at 10 p.m. and she'd sleep until like 10 a.m.
Same.
And then
That's
I'd have
what
to
we do.
lie at the park all the time,
Yes.
because everybody'd be like, "Well, lunchtime, gotta go home." I'm like, "I know, we're really pushing it." You know what I mean? Because it's like she just had breakfast.
I'm totally
Like,
lying to these strangers
It's so
for
weird.
no reason.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
even understand what I think they're gonna think about me, but it's like
Look-
I would get these looks when I would be honest, and I was just like,
Oh yeah, they really don't like it when you kind of do your own thing. But it's like, why would I put her to bed at 6 and get her up at 6? Like it doesn't. She doesn't
That
have
would
a
ruin my
job.
life and
Yes,
hers.
it's so crazy.
yeah,
Well, the most depressing thing, my first wife, when we got divorced, say it was a week. I mean, I had my kids in the day. She had them at night. But some weekends I would have them the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Or whatever, or a Saturday in the day. But going to the park when my kids were as a divorced dad, and you're just looking around at the other dads with no rings on their left hand, and you're going, "Oh, look, he's a loser too." It's the saddest feeling of single dads taking their kids to
Yeah.
the fucking park, and they're having a great time, and I just want to blow my brains out. The fucking saddest. I remember one time I was on the road in Buffalo, and I think I was going through my divorce when I was working in Niagara Falls. And I go take the Maid of the Mist ride on the boat, and it's all
yourself?
all families and couples.
Wait,
What
do you
did you think it
you
would
have
be?
one of your daughters with you, or just by
No,
yourself?
just me. I had nothing to do with Buffalo.
Single rider.
I know you. At least the Mist, you couldn't see the tears.
you're like the lines are shorter if you're single.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's like when you're at the ski lift and if you're single, you go on that short line, but it just keeps going 2 people, 2 people, 2
Yes.
people, 2 people. You're like,
You're just
I'm never
waiting.
going to get in.
But, going on the road so much, you get so used to I taught her how to pack, but she doesn't do it anymore.
I don't know where I'd
Taught
be
you.
without them, honestly.
Taught you how to pack.
Yeah, I
save
didn't. I
space.
didn't know how to. I didn't know how to pack. I was like putting my suitcase backwards and trying to zip it up. He was like, "No, the reason that there's."
You're like putting it on like pants.
I think it's broken.
I don't know. Why do you say that? I've heard you say that before, and I've never really stopped you. But
You
I don't know.
because the things I teach you, you don't realize I'm teaching this. Just without going, hey.
Is this why men date younger women?
I think so.
No, it's because they say yes.
Because older women are like, I know things.
Bonnie said I could date anybody 60 years and above.
Yeah.
Whenever Andy's like upset with me and he's like, I'm gonna get a divorce, I'm like,
I've never done that.
please go find like a young open micer who thinks you're a god and is just like, I love you. Like, go for it.
Crazy.
Why? He's married to a middle.
Richard.
I was joking.
These are our
What?
guests.
She said
Are we
something to me.
gonna
She
fight?
She didn't say it.
I like it.
Are we gonna fight?
Please.
No.
Intermarriage fighting?
Whoa. No,
New comics, girls. Well, nowadays they're a lot prettier than they were back when I
They
came
sure
up.
are.
Are they?
yeah,
I
they're
would say
they're
so.
not funny, but they're hot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I don't mean
I
that
would
as
say
women.
some of them are funny. I
Some.
would say, yeah.
Some, but there's a lot that are hot.
I think it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're funny or not, honestly. It's just we need the numbers. you know?
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean
Wow.
the numbers? As women comics,
Yeah.
you need more.
Yeah, just need a lot of them in order to like.
Yeah, I guess that does just raise the curve, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then by
Just
but
as
it's your
many unfunny female comics as there are unfunny male
there's
comics.
way more unfunny male comics.
But I'm
That's
saying
for sure.
there
Yes.
should be just as many
yes,
unfunny.
exactly. That's
We
my
even
point.
it out
Trying
that
to
way.
even it out
Yeah.
that way.
and I had an argument with a discussion. Like, I guess it's not as prevalent now. Is all the seductive pictures female comics were putting on the internet, but for a while there. And I'm talking to this one comic. I'm going, that's crazy. And she goes, well, that's how I get hired, because I go, well, 10 years ago, you would have never sent that club owner photos like that in the mail, seductive photos. So
The
I
fact that
would've.
he's using the word seductive right
I
now
know,
I
is
like
silly.
it.
Yeah.
Such a
why? What's wrong? Is that
no. I just
I got to get hard somehow?
he calls OnlyFans a
also-
seductive website.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so
But also-
infomercial coded,
He's constantly looking at these pictures because he knows them all, and he's like, "Look at her! Another one." It's like weird.
When I got divorced, from my first wife, and I dated somebody that was younger, it was insane. I don't know how people do it, because I'd be like depressed, because I'm a middle-aged man that is divorced, and she'd be like bouncing on a yoga ball. And it wasn't like, she's like 24, I'm 32, and she was just like, let's go hiking. And I was just like, oh, fuck, what am I doing?
What am I doing? I
am I
think that a
doing with
lot
my
about
life?
just, what are guys getting? I mean, this is a thing that I always think is so crazy, how much guys love sex, that they're willing to put up with so much for it. It's
Yeah.
like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very bizarre to me, because I feel like I don't really have many friends anymore that like do that kind of stuff. It'll probably happen as people.
that
But
fuck
they do
younger
it.
women.
Yeah. Like,
Well-
I also don't live in LA anymore.
Well, also
so.
too, how I can't see being a comic and not married to a comic. I could not. Like, my ex-wife was cool for
a
where
while.
I was in my career in that part of time in my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Young kid, whatever. And she's great. My ex-wife, Bonnie knows my ex-wife.
she's all right.
She,
She's
but I couldn't imagine now, because one, a normal person wants you to go out on the weekend with them. They want you to do stuff.
I
Friday,
do
Saturday.
think that if you're married to a male comedian and you're not a comedian, it's got to be a lot like.
I think you have to be you basically have to be like a trad wife. Like, you have to be like excited to be like, look, I cooked, and
Right. My career is on the
some-
back burner.
Or
for this
you have
person.
something that's a completely other life. But it would be. I remember I dated a woman before Rosebud, and she was an architect. And Valentine's Day, we had dinner. We had like a date, and then I was like, all right, I put in for spots, and so I'm leaving to go do my spots. It was like 9 p.m. and she was like, what? And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'm going. And I could see in her face that was when the relationship was over.
Right.
She was like, you have roommates
I'm on her
and
side on this.
Right.
Fucking spots.
I don't get the whole night.
I was new at the cellar. I put in every day, every time.
Yeah.
I was brand new.
See,
Yeah.
if you were dating Esther, you could have killed two birds with one stone.
I didn't know she was single at the time.
But there's men that are married and then start doing stand up. That have like a corporate job or something. Then they start doing stand up, and you're like,
Same with
how,
Ruin
women.
their relationships. Like,
how do they
have to
do
just
it?
ruin
so crazy to me.
How
when
did you
somebody-
two? How you guys meet from?
We met downstairs.
Yeah.
At the cellar?
I mean,
we
the
met
very
at
first time we
Matchless.
met at Matchless, but like we knew
Wait,
of
no,
each
what?
other.
At Matchless, that
Bar
show
Matchless.
in Brooklyn that was like
Oh,
It was in Greenpoint, like Namesh and Che ran it with Danny.
Kevin.
I can't remember all the
And you
names.
guys immediately had a spark.
No. Rosebud had another boyfriend, and I just went up to her, and I don't, she makes fun of me constantly. It was like a loud party, and I was like, hey, you don't know me, but I know you because I'm friends with your now
Right.
ex. But I'm sober,
Right.
like just introducing myself
Right,
like a
right,
sober guy
right.
does. And she always tells the story like I was like Rain Man, where I was like, but I'm sober too, Rose lady. Like it was just like she tells it like I just was so weird.
That's how it came off.
No,
I don't
it
think
didn't.
you blinked.
I think it was because you were just
You were staring and you were yelling in the
you
dark.
had to yell. It was a party.
know,
it was a
but
loud nightclub.
Yelling that you're sober at a party in the dark is insane. That's crazy.
I can't believe we're
I
married.
But it's because
I-
you're sober, right? That's
I
what
was
why
so-
he was
yeah,
bringing
I
it up.
got the gist of it, but I was like, I don't know this guy. I'm like, he shouldn't even know that I'm sober.
Right.
I guess when we met, I was very cagey just in general. Like I remember I had a neighbor that I hated, and then Andy moved in, and all of a sudden she was like an amazing person, and she was like helpful, and she would
What do
walk
you
our
mean moved
dogs
in with
for
you?
us.
You talk.
When he moved in with me,
yeah.
my neighbor and I hated each other. We were like at each other's throats. She would come knock on my door and then text me, I know you're in there. And I'd be like, fuck off. Like,
Oh my God.
I hated her. And then Andy moves in, and all of a sudden she's like being super helpful and like walking our dogs for us. And I was like, don't let her in our house. And
We haven't lived there for 3 or 4 years. She brought us halva last week.
Yeah.
That's how much I've turned it around.
Oh
Wait,
Yeah.
my
what is it? What'd you bring?
God.
yeah.
Halva.
So like I wasn't
You know halva.
open to like new.
Sesame treat. You brought some back from Israel one time. It's
I
like
never-
it's like fudge made out of sesame paste.
Oh, I don't know. But
He doesn't know anything about
I
Jewish
swear
religion.
to God, you brought it back. You had it
I
at
never
the
been
table.
to
with-
Israel.
What?
I never been to Israel. I was supposed to do it in January.
You've never been to Israel?
No, I was supposed to do it in January.
Jesus Christ! Your Facebook page would say something very different.
Well, I'm very pro.
I
don't
know,
wanna get
I know. I just,
politics.
but I swear you brought a treat.
No, I never brought a treat.
You never brought a
My
treat.
person-
You just
Personality.
saw a Jewish treat on the table and said,
Said, that's got to be
Rich-
Rich's.
brought this for me.
Maybe Judy brought it. I don't know. I swear.
Probably Judy.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
Well,
Maybe
when
the
we
guy
first-
with the gigantic Star of David brought it. I can see how you would make that.
Yeah.
Maybe when we first met, I was at the cellar working.
Wait, I want to hear the rest of their story.
Oh, I thought it was done.
No,
with
I
the
mean-
neighbor.
it wasn't it. I
Just
mean,
basically that he was
so we
Oh, wait.
met like that. She acted like I was autistic.
because I was like, why do you know this about me? I was just like, I don't
Right.
want somebody
It's a
that I
lot.
don't know knowing stuff about me.
This is another thing. Like, side note, Rosebud comes from this political family where like information is power, and I literally.
It's true when we go home to my family, I go, do not talk about our do not
She
talk
literally,
about our
I was
personal
going
life.
on a fishing trip with her dad, and she like stopped me on the way out the door, and she goes, "Do not tell them anything about yourselves that they can use later on." And I
Oh
was like,
my God.
I was serious.
I come from like a nurse and an
Yeah,
insurance salesman. Like
Right,
there
right.
was no leveraging love to get on a better place in the world.
Yeah. You can't give my fucking family anything. They can't know anything. You have to keep it real tight. You got to keep it locked in. And then, so Andy came up and he was like saying this, and I was just like, all right, whatever. And I walked away. And then later we met again.
We were in LA at the same time, and
And that was when I
definitely
noticed-
tried to hit on her.
Yeah, I noticed he was trying.
Where
to get
was
me
it?
Then.
LA. We were both in LA, like pilot season kind of.
Yeah. And he was like,
what's
I have a
that?
place. Do you
What
wanna
year
stay
is
at my
this? Like
place?"
2017?
Yeah, what's
Probably
pilot season?
2019. Yeah, it's winter 2019.
Oh, okay.
Like
Right.
February, March 2019. We're out
Yeah.
there for.
Yeah. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to stay at a place with you. But
No, it was even worse than that, because I gave you a ride to a show, and then I was like, "Oh, do you want to like hang out?" And you were like, "No, I'm good." And I was like, "Cool."
yeah. And then I did your podcast, and then we hung out at Dan St. Germain's wedding.
And we'd also been going out with Gavin. We'd been having we had a couple little
Yeah, we like
three-person
hung
dates.
out with our friend Gavin, and then like
But you were interested. You were definitely like thinking,
Yeah, but she was so mean to me for so long that literally we were like flirting this one night, and then we all said goodbye, and she texted me like, "I wished we like we were still hanging out," and I was like, I literally did not think it was. It was so out of my
Right.
idea
You're like,
of
is this
possibility.
sarcasm? What
And
is
I literally
this?
said, "Oh, I should hit up Gavin. We can all get back together."
Right.
No, dummy, you. And I was like, oh. And then I think I said something wildly sexually inappropriate
Yes.
right away.
Yeah.
I think I said I was
Suck my
gonna-
cock.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think I
shit.
was like,
That went too far the other way.
I'm going to wear you like a gas mask.
Yes.
I was on the road
He
once.
did say
Oh, my
that.
God.
Yes. I was like, what?
We first met. I was on the road, and we used to talk on the phone. I thought she called me for phone sex. Remember?
Oh, yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
I said to her, I go,
I let it go on. And then he said at one point, he goes, well, that's actually, this story is not how we met, because we met and then we would kind of hook up at different cities where we would.
Yeah.
And then,
That's fun. You guys just happen to be in the different cities?
yeah.
That's fun.
well, no, when I
Like
came
I
to
was
LA
in New
or-
York, but I was living in LA, and then
Right.
he was in LA once, and then he so I called him, or did you call me? I don't
No, you
remember.
call me.
Oh, he remembers. And I was at a low point in my life, and he just immediately started phone sex stuff.
thought-
And then at one point he goes, "You're one of the top 5 women I've gone down on."
Top 5.
Which I felt, yeah. I go, it's a fantasy. You got to go
wow.
top 5.
Yeah.
That's like one time.
No, he said you're one of the best. No, he didn't say top 5. I think we made that into
Yeah.
a joke. But he said you're one of the best.
One time a woman said this to me. She said, that was.
Like he didn't say the best. We're just on the phone.
He could have lied.
He could have easily lied.
Yeah.
He could have easily. He
Yeah,
could have
well-
went like this after. I would have never known. You know.
A woman said this to me one time. She said, that was the best orgasm I've ever had with you. She added with you. And I was like,
God.
I don't care about with me.
Yes, right.
Cool. That's the best game of racquetball we've ever played. It's like great.
She was at the cellar when she came walking down the stairs. You were at who's Ian Bad's wedding?
Tim
Gaffigan's
Gaffigan's wedding.
She came walking. I'm going, oh, that girl's hot. She's that comic. And she comes downstairs, and I go, I'm on a date, but I'd hit on you. I was on a date with the hairdresser from The View, who's won 2 Emmys or 3.
He made me look at her. He like I was like this around the corner of the cellar, like pretty good, pretty
And
nice.
I went on stage, and I kind of bombed. And I was like, she was watching because she saw me on Last Comic. She goes, "Oh, you're that comic from Last Comic," and I'm thinking, "Oh, you're that hot comic." And I kind of bombed, or I wasn't bombed.
I left
but-
long before it was done. Let's put it that way.
So I called Esty the next day. I go, give me that girl Bonnie's phone number.
Yeah, so I'm just marching around New York City during the day, and then all of a sudden I get a call from Esty. She's like, "Can I give Rich Vos your number?" I go, "No." She goes, "That's what I thought."
So I said, fuck it. I came down, and then I saw her, and we went out for pizza.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
got you, he cornered you at the cellar and was like, we're getting pizza. And
Yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't have anything else.
Did you
to
know
do.
you guys were gonna like, did you have a feeling that you were gonna marry him?
No. No, I didn't even tell anybody
Right.
about him until right before the wedding. And no, I remember my mom wrote me a letter. This is when I'm dating Rich. And she wrote me a letter saying like how proud she was of me. And, you know, we had a sort of strange relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, don't fix me now. I'm dating Rich Vos.
Yeah.
Oh shit! This
gonna
letter
ruin the
couldn't be.
relationship.
Yes,
Yes.
It's like
we were in L.A.
I
driving.
can now be. I'm ready for love. Yeah.
We were driving in L.A. and we were keeping it a secret. And some guy pulls up beside us and yells, "Rick Voss!" I was with Bonnie, right?
Yeah,
Remember-
but that's what. Would it be weird if you told that story? Then you're like, I was with Bobby.
Oh,
Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah,
yeah. But Nick DiPaolo on Tough Crowd said it. He broke the news. He goes, "We know you two are fucking or having
On air?
on Tough." Well, he didn't say fucking, but he goes, "Yeah," because we were on Tough Crowd together.
well, I
with
don't
him.
remember that. But.
Or it was me and Nick or something. But he said something on Tough
Right.
Oh,
Crowd.
I guess I wasn't on the show that time.
Maybe I don't think I.
Were you
ever
like
did it with
scared that was gonna ruin it? Because I remember when we were keeping it a secret, I was like, this is like the best it's ever gonna be.
Yeah.
We
Us
kept
just,
it a
like,
secret for
sneaking
maybe
around.
3 months, 4 months. We kept it a secret basically
No,
publicly.
there's no
until-
fucking possible way we kept it a secret for 3 or 4 months.
No, we really I mean, we would show up places, but I don't think we like posted each other and stuff like that till the pandemic started.
Well, when we got together, there wasn't posting
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
you
We've been
left-
together 20
We were like
years.
staggering entrances into the cellar for a while.
Yeah.
That was great. That was such a good time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then everybody found out, and I was like, well, I'm having too much fun at this point to like
Call it off.
call it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Turns
mean?
out, like,
What
you
do
know,
mean by
because
fun.
when you're having fun like that, when you're like sneaking around, you're like, is this all it is?
Right. Is this what all
the
that
thing?
excitement is
Yeah.
about?
And then,
Yes.
and then when people find out, you're like, there was a part of me that was scared that I was like, oh man, is it going to be over now? But then it wasn't.
Right. Rich and I, when we first started, when we were dating and first married, we laughed so much.
Yeah.
You remember? I mean, we'd be in a car driving places, just fucking cracking each other up.
Yeah.
It was
Yes.
like a very. It didn't like other people just didn't matter at all.
Yeah. I don't even think what we were saying was funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
No,
Like
probably
when I
not.
look back, I'm like, I don't even think what we were actually talking about was funny at all. It was just like, I remember being like, oh shit, I haven't laughed this hard like with anybody other than my siblings.
Yes. Right.
We used to play coming home. We played the Sklar Brothers, and we would do.
We
those-
do the Sklar Brothers all
and
the
then
time.
we also do Wendy Lehman because I used to
That was
I
his
thought
favorite
she was great.
female
She
comic,
was
so I
one
would
of
do
my
Wendy
favorite
Lehman
female-
jokes.
Female comic.
Like we just make them up.
Then we do, at one point in our career, we do 45 minutes on trash and comics. I don't want to
Yeah.
say names.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever discuss
Other
like,
comics?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
who do you
yeah.
think is a fraud?
Yes,
Yeah.
all the
All
time.
the time. Just poison coming
It's
out of our
poison.
mouth.
And it's not.
Absolute
It's
toxic.
not good. It's not good. Like
It's pretty
like,
fun, though.
I know it is.
Feels
I'll get on
good.
the phone with a friend of all of ours, and we'll start off nice, and then next thing you know, fuck
Just
that. I hope he gets
poison.
He goes. I hope he gets caught with kitty porn on his.
Christ.
He'll go. It goes from like just a normal recovery conversation, or
Yeah.
I went to meetings in Canada, and I bit my tongue because they were cross talking, and
Yeah.
and hey, that's good. And
Once
it's-
you've both sort of established yourselves as heroes,
Yes.
you really dig in. Yeah.
that motherfucker, and then today we're Demi Moore, $15 million a movie, and she's saying I was this as an actor. Shut the fuck up. We're trashing people that we'll never even meet.
I don't know if we do that. Do we?
I definitely have been like, we'll watch shows, and then Andy has, it's almost like a tick, but he'll like, we'll be watching a movie and Andy will be like, oh, that guy was in this. And it's like I'm sitting with IMDb while watching
You
the
guys
movie.
should watch a movie together because he like expects me to be IMDb for him.
Yeah.
He'll be like, "Who's that?" I won't just want to think of the name, so let's be like, "I don't know. You know who she is? She's an actress."
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, "No, you know who she is.
Yeah.
Tell me her
Glenn
name.
Close. And
Right.
you're like,
What has she been in?" Yeah, and you're like, "I just don't feel like stopping my brain right now."
I also just don't care. I'm like trying to enjoy the
Yes,
movie. So I'm
right.
but Andy will say something about somebody, and then honestly, it's in an effort to get him to not go on about it. I'll just be like, I hated that movie, and then keep watching. But I don't really necessarily mean it.
She'll walk out towards the end of the movie. Go, I don't feel like watching.
I don't like watching the end.
Who the
Movies
fuck?
are like books. If it doesn't get you by the middle, and
You don't like
Well,
watching the end
yeah,
of
but
a
I'm not
movie?
a reader.
There's
so
so
if
many
I'm
movies
watching
I
a
don't watch.
movie
It. I
with
feel
her,
like I get it. I know where it's going.
yeah, yeah,
Wicked, I didn't watch the end.
she'll do that with a TV show.
yeah.
I won't watch the last episode sometimes.
The only show
If
I've ever
it's the
done that
last
was The
episode,
Sopranos.
I'll watch it. You'll watch out. You'll like walk
No,
out. Of
no,
the show
that
that
I'll
late?
stop at some point during the series. Like I don't, if it's feeling like homework, I choose not to do it. But he has something
I
wrong
already
with him where
invested 8
he will,
episodes.
if he starts a series, he'll watch until. If it's 8 seasons, he'll watch
Do
8
it.
seasons.
Yeah, I did it with Sons of Anarchy. It was bad by
I
the
don't.
third
I
season.
thought it was the worst. It was the most overrated fucking.
And then
show
I
on
watched
the
every single episode.
Me too.
And then, but if I start a show, I have to finish it. There's so many shows that I just are like, this is subpar. Except for some reason, I've never watched the final like 5 episodes of The Sopranos, and I think it's a masterpiece.
That's wild.
Crazy.
Sons of Anarchy was there'd be 10 people killed in a gunfight, in the street and no cops ever showed up.
It was always like they'd always set up this arc too for the season where it was like, how are they gonna get out of this? Like it would be like all these like stakes are raised, and the resolution every single time was, oh yeah, we're bikers, and they just shoot everybody. You're
Right.
like, oh okay.
But there's
Right,
no
right.
bike gang in this country that I could think of that has a Spanish guy, a Jewish guy, an Irish guy, and
black guy,
and
yeah.
a white guy. What is it? The multicultural bike gang. Shut up.
When did it come out? When
Oh,
did
that was
2013, 2012.
Oh, the lead
wow.
in it. The lead in it was supposed to be like a big actor, wasn't he?
He's in a lot of stuff still. His name's Charlie Hunnam.
He was in 50
right.
Shades of one of those. Wasn't he in one of those?
No, he before that he was in Queer as Folk, which was like a
Really?
I remember that
gay
show.
Showtime show. I don't know.
Wait, I'll tell you who's a dreamboat is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah.
We just you see the fucking abs on him?
You just realized that?
No,
I don't know how that came up.
Oh, he was.
I was at a light once and he walked right across in front of my car and I was like, Jake, and he didn't turn around.
Yeah, he's
Where
a
was this in
hottie.
New York?
When I was going to the tunnel.
Get out!
Uh-huh.
I would have hit him. Then he'd have to talk to you.
I just go to myself. I'm in my car by myself. I go, that's Jake Gyllenhaal. And I would put the window down. I go, Jake! And he didn't even turn.
Like every radio listener on the
Yeah, I
planet.
know. I couldn't stop myself. One time I saw Louis and his girlfriend at the time from Better Things. What's her name?
Louis who?
Louis C.K.
Oh.
And God, what's her name?
Pamela Adlin?
Yeah. What's
know
her
they
first
did.
name?
Pamela?
Pamela Adlin. And I was like, Bam, Louis. And they just kept walking. I was like, Bam, Louis. Like I couldn't stop myself.
Did you know them?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
but they didn't turn around. Then I started thinking, like, oh, that's just what famous people do. They don't turn around when just randos are yelling their
Remember
name
when I
in
did
the street.
what I did with Vince Vaughn at the sushi place?
Oh yeah, that's very funny. This is right after we got married, maybe right before somewhere, and he positions himself. He sees that what's his face is there,
Vince Vaughn.
and he takes the seat where he knows Vince Vaughn can see him, and then I sit on the other side, and he's going. I start to realize halfway through dinner what he's doing because I don't get what's happening at first, but he's like this. So he's angled himself for a clear view,
Yeah.
so that Vince Vaughn can see him. And as Vince Vaughn is leaving, Vince Vaughn goes, "Funny guy," to him and leaves, and he's like, "It
Oh
worked."
my god! And the whole
Oh
time,
my god.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh
he had to
my
go to a
God.
chiropractor the next day, but he got what he wanted. It was like, I was like, why are you sitting like that? Like something.
I would when
he's posing
Yes.
during dinner.
listen when a celebrity or someone big knows you, it's like you're like whoa. Like I saw, she didn't know me, but I saw. We went to Judy Gold's her one person show,
Yeah.
and what's her name was there? Tia. What's her name?
Tia Leone?
Tina Leone.
Taya Leone, yeah.
And I was watching a lot of that Madam Secretary at the time.
Yeah.
I go, oh my God. And I saw her and I was like, oh my God. And she's in the bathroom, like having a conversation.
No,
with-
Tia Leone was in the bathroom, and then I didn't know who she was. I didn't really recognize her or anything. And then she was doing something. She goes, "I'm sorry, I've got to rearrange my underwear." And I just go, "Well, you're on your own." Like I was just, I didn't know she was. And then I came out and she was talking to Rich, and she goes, he goes, "This is my wife." And she goes, "Oh, we had a funny interaction in the bathroom."
Oh,
But
man.
I was like starstruck.
You're on your own.
I was like, I didn't even look at her. I was like, "You're on your own."
I was like starstruck, even though.
What did
just-
we
But she
just
is
see
really
her in?
pretty.
just
We
rewatched
watched
something.
Family Man.
Oh yeah.
She
We
was
watched
great.
Family Man, and we had that was like it was who Nick Cage
Nick Cage and Taya
and
Leone.
Taya Leone, and it's like a guy who is like a big time stockbroker, and then like it's like a classic '90s movie where like he goes to bed and he wakes up in like a suburban home with like a wife and kids.
Oh,
It's as if he didn't leave to go do his like stockbroker college and ended up marrying his sweetheart.
right.
Right. And so basically at the end of this movie, it's like a tearjerker. And Andy was like, he was like, he like had like a
Jesus
come to
Christ.
Jesus moment
Fuck.
where he was like, I bitch about my career a lot, and I fucking, and I fucking moan about this, and he's like, but honestly, if it weren't for you and Minnow, I forget what it was like along those.
It was if I wouldn't have failed out of TV writing in LA, I would have never come back to New York. I would have never met you. We would have never had Minnow.
Yes.
It was very sweet, and I thought I was being very vulnerable, and I forgot what she said, but it was like
I was like, oh, you should write this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, you could write this movie, like basically.
Didn't hear anything
Yeah,
he said.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
You could still make money.
Yeah. I'm like pitching him. And he's like, I just poured my fucking heart out to you, you absolute bloodless maniac.
Yeah.
I got a text. Well, I wrote on the Golden Globes, and then right after the monologue, someone texted me and was like, "Good job, another comedian," Nikki crushed. And so I assumed that person knew that I was writing, so I just hearted it. And then 10 minutes later, she goes, "That's what we get for having kids."
No.
And it was like so wild that someone would like. First of all, like I was like, what does she expect me to write back? Like, yeah, fuck our kids.
I hate them now.
I hate them. But also, like, it's funny it's a funny thing to think that, like, oh, if I didn't have kids, I would be hosting the Golden Globes.
Right.
Like, to have that kind of, like, real, you think that's all it is?
It's insane.
Yes.
It's an insane thing to.
It's an insane thing
But it's
to
like
say.
we do that all the time. I mean, I've had like thoughts like that where it's just if I really like take a step back, I'm like, no, Rosebud, that's not how it is, you know.
Well, how do you guys? What is the process for your like?
What do you mean?
Like keeping it all intact, you know, like having 2 careers and a kid. It's a lot. It's tricky.
Do you want to lead?
No, why don't you take this one? Why don't you take it? Because you leaned back so easily.
No, because I thought you might have a strong opinion about it. No, Rosebud's very supportive. It's difficult because I still kind of have like a typical road comic kind of like, and not even really. I don't work constantly since we had the baby. It's like because then you're paying for childcare because she's at SNL.
Right.
And it's also like
that's the life that I was having.
Kind of impossible at the same time as well because it's like we never know when she's going to get out, and our nanny or whoever can't just be like on call indefinitely.
And there's no night care. Like, why isn't there night care? Couldn't you drop some kids off at a night care place?
You brought that up to me, I think, when she was like 4 months old.
Oh, yes.
Like, yes! I was like
know.
losing my mind.
That's what I thought there needed to be all-night dog daycares.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hard. I mean, you kind of have to lead with like Rosie makes more money. So like if she has something that comes up that's going to make more money for the family, I either have to like take the L and go like, all right, well, I'm going to either watch the kid that weekend or I'm going to go and I'm going to be the feature. And for the most part, it's not been too bad. There are times where like we got in a fight the other day, little fight where I want to go to London at the end of the month. I lived out there for like 6 months.
This drove me fucking crazy.
And I just gotten back from like basically 10 days on the road with Christmas in the middle to kind of break that 10 days up. And I'd been gone. I'd done the Cellar in Vegas at the beginning of the month. So I'd been gone.
And he came back from the Cellar in Vegas like so
I hiked every day.
chill.
I won a parlay.
He was
It
like
great.
late coming back, and I was like, would have been nice to know what time you were actually fucking arriving. And he wrote, I understand. And I almost fucking snapped my phone in half because I was like, this motherfucker. Like he just.
I'm there in a couple of weeks. The shittiest. It's not the shittiest. The hotel's not the greatest.
No,
but-
it's great now.
Oh, they fixed it up?
The food
I don't give a
sucks,
fuck
but
how
they
good the hotel
remodeled
is.
it.
If
I'm
you're
just
alone
saying-
for 4 days,
I'm just
if
going
you're
to
alone
play
for
golf.
5 days without a kid, I don't want to hear shit about the hotel. I'm like, if you got to be alone and you got to sleep for 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, after Christmas, I slept in like very subpar hotels and I felt like I was in fucking Shangri-La. Like it was like amazing. And it was like clearly like a hooker had died in the room. I was
Where?
like,
What do you mean you were?
oh, because I went to LA for 2 days in between Sacramento and San Francisco, and I couldn't afford like to go to the Beverly Hills hotel or whatever. So I just got this like $100 a night hotel, and it was pretty dumpy, but
Yeah.
it was like really comfortable because I'm sleeping in and
Right.
jerking off and vaping in bed.
It's so
and-
hard to remember back to those days, honestly. But because I would take Raina on the road with me.
And we
So I would
did
have,
we
like-
did that some. I have. It's really hard to do the road.
Wait, but finish the.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to London to see. I'm supposed to help a friend direct his special in April, and I wanted to go watch some soccer games. That's like the sport that I like because I'm gay. And the
Gays make the best stay-at-home dads.
They really do.
yeah.
Anyway, carry on with your story.
And then also I have a bunch of friends out there and like places I like going up. Like I lived there for 6 months, and there's this place Top Secret that I love going up. Anyways, I wanted to go for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I had planned, and we kind of talked about it because she has to go out to LA to promote her special. And one thing about her like having like things like SNL in this special is that like she doesn't know necessarily what that time is going to be in LA.
but she has to give it.
But I don't know, and she gets really annoyed if I ask her too
Right,
much, right?
right.
And so I'm trying to plan around that, but I also don't want to get in a fight with her
Right.
about that. So it was like 2 days after I'd gotten back, and I was
No, hon. It was less than 24 hours after you gotten back.
Uh-oh.
all right, well,
It was less. That was sort of the main.
Was it 48 hours or was it 24
I think it was.
hours?
It was
I
less than
I think it was in
24.
the 36 to 48.
I
hour
know
window.
it was less than 24. I did the math in my head.
Oh my god.
She's got it right.
When
She said
yes, you know what? I believe her because I've done that myself. I've been like, I'm using this later
Yeah.
as a
And plus,
Yeah.
when she says, "Hun,"
yeah,
Yeah.
honey.
But anyways, so I'm trying to book shows. I'm trying to go book a plane ticket before it's too expensive. And I'm like, hey, do you know when you're gonna go to LA to do these PR things? And she's like, are you fucking asking me if you can go to London right now? And it was like, okay, fair. But then she's like, and I'm going to London in June, and you get to come with me. And I'm like, I'm excited to go to London with you, but I also want to go like as an individual, right? Because I'm sure that people lump you guys in sometimes, and like one person would be,
He wants to do everything together.
oh, really?
what do you mean? What are you talking about?
But hold
We
on,
have
are you
separate
ever the
bedrooms.
headliner and he's the feature?
No.
See, that's what I mean. There's a difference with that,
Yeah.
and there's a certain amount of ego that is.
Well, no, we
Normal.
Shows.
And I don't want to do everything with him. I have no interest.
No, she doesn't want to do everything I do.
No,
either.
we don't go on the road. I don't want to
No,
go.
but in the beginning that you would book us together constantly. Say,
yeah,
stop booking us together. And you'd be like, whoopsies, I did it again.
But you, we didn't have a kid then. We didn't have a kid, and we would go on.
Yeah, but I didn't get anything out of it. We're supposed to be co-headlining, but you
Yeah,
would
but you
like.
were. But I was the one who was the draw at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not helping. It's like that's why I don't want to do everything with Andy because it's like it's not helping him if
No.
he's featuring. You know what I mean? So
like you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah. So I was like, when you come out to London with me, I'm not saying feature for me. I'm saying do your shows in London. I'll do my shows in London. Period. And then, but he was like, but I want to watch soccer. And I was like, I'm gonna kill you.
What do you
Soccer's,
mean? On
soccer's
TV?
not on in June.
Oh,
The season's
yes.
over.
Yeah, he
Right,
said that,
right.
and I was like, well, you're not a soccer player, so I don't see what the fucking point of that.
Yeah, but see, if you're going to a place like that, and you have separate gigs. That's fine.
Yeah, but he wants to go by himself. He's like a
Oh,
man who has his own career and his own wants and needs.
And also, I have like a little bit of a community out there because I gigged out there. Anyways, it's like she was right that it was like bad timing, but it was also like this thing where it's frustrating because she does have more momentum. There's more value in the stuff that she does.
I don't think there's more value, but
There's
get-
literally more monetary value. That's
Okay,
what I'm
yes,
saying.
yeah.
And so it's just like sometimes as a family, you have to go like, okay, like, you know, and I don't take a ton of, that's not like a huge hit to my ego anymore. I definitely had to get used to it because, you know, I've been doing comedy for like 20 years and there was a period of time where I had agents and managers and I was writing on television shows and that stuff kind of like fizzled out, and I still get to headline like awesome comedy clubs and stuff, but I do it on my own and I still will do gigs that are like not great in the eyes of most of our peers,
I
but
do
it's
them all the time.
yeah, but it's like I want to make money that weekend and I also want to do comedy. It makes me feel good.
Do an hour.
Yeah.
right.
And so it's just that's the adjustment. And I think that's probably like I think the hardest thing
Yeah, it's
in
that
our
kind
marriage.
of like just like
Balance.
balancing it out and not like stepping on his toes and not like fucking with, because I know that it's really important as comics. You got to get out, you got to have an hour, you got to just have that time.
Well, I will say this about the money thing, because that was the argument that Rich put forth a lot, was that, he made a lot more money on the road than I did at the time. And so he was going to go out and make the money. The problem with that is that then I had no opportunity to expand my, try to make more money. I couldn't do it. I started off going on the road with Raina, but then that got to be, I just couldn't do it. It was too much. So then I had to refocus on, I try to get some gigs in the city and do that when I could. And even that was very exhausting. Sometimes he'd say, come into the city with me and do a gig on a Thursday night or something. And I was just like, I just can't. It was like, I'd have writing jobs from home or whatever. And I'd try to keep my hands in something at all times, but it was.
Plus you wrote a book that took time.
I know. I did get lucky on some things that I could do. I made a movie.
We made a movie.
Yeah, but right, of course.
But you were main. You were the director.
Right, but it is hard. It is hard when one person is the breadwinner to then be like, but I would like to have the opportunity to still try to make it.
But here's the thing now, that
in my own way.
But I always am saying to myself, I'm like, if the roles were reversed and Andy was making more money than I was making, I'm like, the amount of time that I spend thinking about, okay, well, Andy really has to get out on the road. Andy has to get his time. He has to be headlining. His career is equally as important as mine. I'm like, would it even be as, do you know what I mean? It's because he's a guy, I'm constantly trying to
Right, you're more aware of it than the other way around.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. It's weighing on you where it didn't weigh on him.
Well, she has
at
more
all.
Exactly.
Yes,
no, but she has more avenues than I have in different parts of this business.
Well, no, I had to recreate. I had to rethink of what I was going to do.
You
right,
but wrote for shows.
But I couldn't go into the city and write on a show.
Well, you couldn't. You couldn't. But you wouldn't have either. You wouldn't. I don't even think if you didn't have a kid.
I mean, that's what I did in L.A., so I would have done it.
Yeah, but you were single without a kid in L.A. It's different.
But
right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
at the time we met, for stand up, which I've been doing for 40 fucking years.
Right.
At the time,
nobody's mad at you.
Oh no,
right.
I know. Okay. It's just how it worked out.
I don't want to get hit again.
At that point, I took 2 rings off. At that point,
that was nice of you.
You give them to her after.
It's a light night.
Yeah.
It's a little
night.
in the morning.
That's why I'm being so mouthy.
At that point, we met. It's when I started making the most money I ever made in comedy. At that point, because that was Last Comic Money, Tough Crowd, all the shit was happening then, So, but then we got married, had a kid. Look, when my older daughters,
but I had also just done Last Comic Standing. I did an HBO special. I did a Comedy Central special. I could have.
Yeah. You could have too, but also too, we didn't have a kid when you did. Oh, you did. We had not when you did HBO.
But you can't say but that was before we had a kid, because it's you had the kid and then. Well, when the adjustments
I couldn't keep the momentum going.
When my older daughters, when my wife and ex-wife was separate, my older daughters, I guess they were probably 8 and 6 or 10 and 8 or 12 and 10. I would take them. I took them to Tahoe. I took them to Florida. I used to take them on the road with me all the time. Mm-hmm. But Raina, for some reason, was very, very close with Bonnie, because I was gone. And Raina wouldn't want to come with me. I go, you want to come this weekend to whatever? And she never would want to go. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that ever being.
I don't think it ever happened. I think I made that up. But... because she didn't want to play golf.
Yeah.
These babies have such bad attitude.
No, there were times I said to Raina when she was older, 5 or 6, come with me to Baltimore, come here, or whatever. And she
every 6-year-old wants to go to Baltimore. But I don't
all the needles.
Whatever. I don't know how.
Is that where they filmed The Wire?
Yeah. This is where Bubbles OD'd.
All I know is, look, our daughter's going to be 18 this summer coming up. God. Well, this summer. She just turned 17 last summer. She's going to be 18.
But he always does. This is a weird thing with him. He'll always do the age, even when he talks about his own age. He'll be like, I'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No,
feel
but
like
most people just say their age that they actually are in the moment.
You're like, I'm 18 and a half.
Yeah.
Oh God! You know what?
It's a quirk. It's a quirk. You don't have to argue everything. It's fine.
I'm not
Go ahead.
arguing. I'm
Keep
not
going.
arguing.
I'm
You
sorry.
don't have to bring up every little wrong thing in
It's
your head.
not wrong.
It's not
a
wrong.
quirk.
You did that. You did that.
It's so like they're mental.
Am I saying that? I think it's a funny thing that you
yeah.
always
Like,
do.
it's so
I
funny.
notice things about
It's almost
you.
two mentally ill people going. Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah, you
no.
did
We're
it."
literally just two people going, this is what you do. And you're going, I'm not wrong. And we're like, okay.
I never
buddy,
said you were
nobody said
wrong.
you were wrong.
All right. I'm coming up on 30.
Gaslighting you.
I'm coming up
doing it
next
again.
month. Next month I'll have 39 years sober.
Wait,
but
so he
I
has
only
38
really
years
have
sober right
38.
now.
I have 38, but I'm coming up on 39.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming up on 50 years.
I
at
think
some
I
point,
probably
too.
do that too. Now that I think of it.
Whatever. But how come my old, I guess Jess and Ellen used to come because I used to take them to places, Vegas. I took
They
them.
were like vacationing with their father that they didn't see every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, Raina saw me every day, so she didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, you were like the cool dad that like flew in.
I still am. I mean, I could call them right now. And
Yeah.
Fucking they have kids. I have grandkids. They're like,
Jesus.
I got 3 granddaughters.
My
No, two.
3 grandkids.
Yeah.
2 grand.
when you went on the road with Raina, were you like, at what point did you go, oh, this is too much, I can't do it?
Like I remember when she was gonna turn 2, and I'd have to buy a new seat. I was really looking at that date, like, okay, that's over. It's over then.
Yeah.
Because
Remember
it was
she walked
hard.
on stage.
She
used
would
to
come
walk
on
down.
stage all the time. It was
She come walking out.
Yeah.
well, but the one thing is that like it was more fun in a way because before when I would do the road, I would just lay in bed literally all fucking day until it was time to go. But when
Did
you
you
were a kid,
diddle?
you have
Diddle
to like
yourself?
You got to get up and do stuff.
you'd find we'd Google parks, we'd go to like museums
Yeah.
or something. We'd like find a water slide. Like
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in hotel pools.
Yeah.
So it was like you got up and you did stuff because like. We would joke about this like before people would be like, "What'd you guys do?" And you'd
Yeah.
be like, "Nothing." Like
Just sit
literally
in my fucking
nothing.
filth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see. I'm busy when I go on the road by myself every
never
day.
busy.
I go. I play golf. I go to meetings. I fucking go to the gym. If I was just stuck in Canada in the mall for almost a week up at the Edmonton Mall, where I bought everything
Yeah.
that I didn't need. I spent 3 days at the dollar store.
Yeah.
But I had to get the fuck out of the room. I went to meetings up in Canada that were.
I never do that. I stay in the room all fucking day.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I write, but I don't leave.
yeah, but
like,
you're
I'll
writing.
write.
You're working.
Yeah, but I truly sit in the room and like work out on the floor like it's a prison cell and then
That's fun.
write and
Yeah.
just do that for like a week. And I leave feeling so good. I feel
like-
so good when I leave.
Yeah.
Like spiritually
Yes.
fit, And then when I take Minnow, I'm like, this is great for me. I'm getting out, I'm doing things, but I'm fucking exhausted.
Oh,
think
I would
it's
never.
not-
I wouldn't even know. I did so much crowd work because I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
When I'd get on stage, I'd just be like, I hope I can do my time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's happening in my head. It's like, I don't know what's.
When Minnow was like 6 months old, maybe, I was like, I'm going to take her with me to this gig, and my parents live nearby, so they'll watch her while I go do the gig. And we got like halfway down the Jersey Turnpike,
Andy's
and she'd been
FaceTiming
napping,
me.
and she just starts. She's never been alone in the back by herself before.
right.
She wakes up and she's like, "What the fuck?" And she's just screaming and just like, but like a scream that I'd never heard. Like
Our
that,
daughter doesn't cry in like she cries in a way where it sounds like she can't breathe.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
like,
like-
from the jump,
Oh.
like doesn't ever like sort of whine, just goes like
Oh,
like
God.
you can't.
coughing and
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, like it's like living with Yamanika, where
But
you're
the-
like, this is
Why there's no food in the
crazy
refrigerator?
dramatic.
Jesus Christ.
Red.
There's no shoulder on this part though, so I like pull over and the shoulder's like
Right.
and I'm already very anxious.
And it's nighttime. And
It was actually daytime. but
Oh, okay.
I run around the car. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She just had pooped her pants and she was mad.
Jesus Christ.
And then I like get her and I'm like, "Oh baby," and I look out and our dog is just walking in the New Jersey Turnpike.
Oh my
I'm
God.
What the fuck?
Oh
Like,
my
losing my mind. I get her back
Oh
in
my
the car seat.
God.
I change her diaper. Every time a car goes by, the car, like that vacuum where the
Yeah.
car goes like this. And then I get her back in, and she starts screaming again the second her bottle's done. And so I just, all the way to the next rest stop, I hold Miss Rachel on my phone while I drive like this. Because
Yeah.
we don't
Right.
have it set up yet to,
Right.
like,
Right.
with an iPad or whatever.
He FaceTimes me like he's close to tears.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can tell
I
that
feel
she's like
this.
broken him. And she hasn't gone on the road with you since.
No, she went.
Do you get the dog back?
Yeah, the dog was okay,
Yeah.
thank God. And the rest of the week was actually
Because you
pretty
couldn't
good.
leave the car to go get the dog.
No.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you just
holding
sort
the
of-
baby.
yeah.
Like
oh my
am I about
God.
to watch my dog
I
die?
thought-
Oh my God.
Kind of a relief. It would have been, just less walking, less responsibility.
Yeah.
He's been praying that the dog dies
Oh my
since we had
God.
It's so much harder.
Oh,
and
her
she's so
dog.
dirty.
Oh, her dog, fucking Yorkie, pisses and shits everywhere.
It
Our
is
dog.
absolutely not true. Now, who's exaggerating?
I clean up two dumps in.
When I was gone, because
Yes.
nobody walks her.
I take her out. I didn't walk her. It's freezing. I'm not gonna walk. I'm not
You're
lonely.
supposed
She's
to
in
walk
protest.
The dog.
Huh?
You got to walk the
No,
dog.
I let her out the back. We have a fence in. I go out.
See, that sounds so marvelous. I've tried to set up a basket system where I can just.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Our dog's such a freak, though. And now, because I was so afraid of germs for the first year of Minnow's life that, like, the dog would go, like, walk around the New York streets, and then I'd be like, oh, you're going to touch my daughter. I started disliking our dog.
yeah.
We worked during the pandemic at the Stress Factory. Remember outside in the fucking dumb
I remember.
Oh,
that.
you did one of
In
those
a
tent
tent?
shows. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
tent.
That was like the most poorly executed commute I've ever done. Because I remember being like, oh, I'll leave like an hour early and hitting traffic and being like, I didn't understand what this was.
Oh,
like, I didn't
Jersey,
understand
yeah.
what the Jersey
Oh,
traffic
God.
was.
Turnpike, forget it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
This was
How do you guys feel?
Yeah.
this was
it
the
okay?
I
most.
feel like for the one and only podcast that we're doing, it's great.
Yeah.
We're not going to even be able next week. We're not going to be able to get guests
Because
as good.
he said he'll take over the podcast and do all the booking and everything. So
Are you guys
I
gonna
didn't
try
think
to
we'd
do-
ever be here.
Are you guys going to try to do couples and family?
or comics that are married.
Yeah.
Or,
Comics that are
dating.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
You can
yeah.
also do repeat guests.
What's that?
You can do repeat guests.
Yeah. What are you doing next week?
It's like maybe take a week off.
No.
But I do think it's a good time because, like, I think there's like 8 couples in comedy that are having kids or had kids, like
Yeah,
Mark and May
Yeah,
and
I just saw that.
Mo,
Who?
Sarah.
Joe, Sarah,
Yeah. So far, I'm not fans of any of them. Who
Yeah.
else?
Robbie and Casey.
You guys
Who
are our new
was-
bookers. Thank you.
Who's Robbie?
Robbie Slowick, he writes for The Tonight Show. He works here.
Overrated.
He's Jewish.
No, I don't know. I don't even know who he is. He's Jewish.
him.
Well, Keith,
You guys
he's
would
black.
like them.
Did you guys
Would
have
like
fun?
them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, this
was
was-
great.
thank you for coming.
I
This
told
was
Andy on
fun.
the way, I was like, I've never been in less of a mood to do a podcast, and now I feel great.
That's how I go into every podcast.
Having
I know, same.
another couple
Same. It wasn't
bounce
personal.
off your fights with. Because Rosebud, you saw how quickly she amped up just there. I need somebody here as like a witness.
Yeah, that's
It's
how I
you
feel
getting
like
hit with
you.
the rings. You
Yes,
know? It's
yes.
Like, I need somebody to be like, hey, this is a little bit of a reaction.
What was the time that you got? We were on a plane and Minnow was crying. We were on a plane to Amsterdam. This is the last one. Then we'll let. Sorry, but we were on the plane to Amsterdam. Minnow's screaming. It was a red eye. And we had done everything. We'd like gotten to the Delta Lounge. We got her run around. We gave her a shower. We put her in her PJs. We got on the plane. We were like, we fucking nailed this. She's gonna sleep. And then like middle of the flight, she just fucking loses it.
Doesn't sleep at all. Not once.
Doesn't sleep at
Oh
all.
my God, that's like a 9-hour flight.
It was bad. And
it's 5,
It was
6
it
hours.
was 6.
Oh,
it was
okay.
bad. And it felt like 9 hours. And we had like, I was like, she's teething. We have to get like ibuprofen, and like the fucking syringe, like we lost half of the syringe. So I was like, okay, well, if I put my finger over it, I can pour it in and we can measure it out that way. And there's just fucking liquid ibuprofen.
And then she's like taking the ibuprofen and like trying to like put it on her lips and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
And I was like, and he had brought our luggage down and was like opening it in the middle of the aisle.
Oh my God.
So I'm straddling our
my
luggage, trying to like put ibuprofen into my daughter's mouth, just sort of eyeballing it. And he's like, what are you fucking do? You look insane. And I go, do you want to do this?
I think you even said, I'll hit you.
Yeah, I
Oh
was like, "I'll
God, the
fucking
worst
hit
is when
you."
people are watching and you're like, stop it.
Yeah. No, everyone was staring at us and like, they're like, why would you do this to us? It's a red-eye flight. We all wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's these Dutch people that are all
God.
just perfectly blonde and tanned, and they're like, those like vests that are padded.
Right.
God, they all looked so good, and we were such fucking trash.
We
on
want
that
These
flight.
We
Americans.
wanted to do videos of me and her fighting in elevators,
Oh yes.
trapping other people in there and then just having a fight.
having fake fights.
Gotta get an elevator. Where you have
That's
to
so good.
Yes,
You
just
put
have
it
that.
after the fact.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You guys gotta do that.
Elevator fights.
You gotta do that.
45.
Well, the problem is we've had them. That's where sadly the idea comes
so
from,
it's
because it's like, but he won't
Oh, here we go.
wait until a better time. If he feels something, he's got to release it immediately.
Yeah.
So even if we're having a fight and I go, not now, I'd be like, what?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
But see, this is where she's wrong.
Right here.
That is true.
She goes, push it down. No, let it out. If you push
no,
it
push
down.
it down.
Down.
No, I gotta.
I'm
let
of
it
the
out.
push it
Yeah.
down.
I'll let
Come
it
on.
down and then, or I'll let it out and then it's gone. Once it's out, it's gone.
It's not
I
gone.
love
It's
to
now
push
in
it.
him.
I love to push
Oh
it
yeah, but
down
that's his
and then
problem.
just-
That's what I was saying to him. He just
3
dumps
weeks
it in there, and then
later.
he's like skipping around, and I'm like,
Yeah, I just love to like push it down, and then 3 weeks later, she's like, "Could you change the garbage in the bathroom?" And I just punch the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
She's broken dishes, smashed,
That's cool. I like that.
maybe one time.
Did you yell
Holds it to her
Opa?
wrist. I'll fucking do it.
What's that?
She holds the broken plate to her wrist.
I had a girl. I used to date Kathy, and we had a big
Of course,
fight.
her name was Kathy.
Of course.
Beautiful.
What a
She was
Kathy
so
move.
fucking good. She
He loves
prom
that.
queen,
fourth
head
best
cheerleader.
woman he's gone down on.
Yeah. Yes.
She had a pool table and a built-in pool. It was like the fresh air fun for me. It was like camp.
Jesus.
And we had a big blowout fight. And she called her friend. I mean, she goes, "I'm going to kill myself." I go, "You better wait till your friend gets here because I'm not getting blamed for this bullshit."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm not cleaning
No,
up.
I'm not cleaning up. And then, it just was a crazy. I had 4 months sober and I moved in with this fucking
With
girl.
Kathy.
With Kathy.
Of course.
Right.
From the
But
cartoon.
4 months sober, you move in with Kathy.
You were Kathy.
Dye your hair bleach blonde and you move in with Kathy.
Oh my God.
It's normal.
Yeah.
But Bonnie's my soulmate.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't believe in soulmates.
Ooh, that's for the next pod.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
For having
Oh,
us.
wait, plugs. Let's do some plugs.
All right.
I'm coming.
When is
in
this
two.
coming out?
This week it'll be out. So I'll be at Mohegan Sun
Friday.
Comics in 2 weeks, and coming up at the Rio in Vegas, richvoss.com. Go to my website. All my dates are there. Andy, what do you?
I'll be at Laughs in Seattle the 17th and 18th, and then I will be at what the fuck is the name of that club? God, I can't think of it.
Think of the city.
I don't even remember. Oh, I'll be in St. Pete at Coastal Creative the 7th and 8th of February.
Is there a club in St. Pete?
Yeah.
I'm in Florida for 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and I have to find a weekend. I've been calling everywhere.
Splitsiders is booked? Or Side
No, they
Splitters?
don't get back to me.
Okay.
You could have just said it was booked.
No, they won't.
I get it. They don't get back to me either.
And I did well there.
I'm in
Rosebud.
Baltimore
At the
this
port?
weekend at the port.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Love the port.
Are you staying in a haunted hotel?
No, I'm staying in a different hotel. They haven't gotten it for me yet, but yeah.
Stay at the hotel next door to it. It's amazing.
With the one across the street? You're
Yeah,
talking-
it's expensive. You're going to spend what you make. But
Oh, you're talking about the good one
Yeah.
down the street, the big one. You're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah. The dock one.
the
Oh,
one
you have
that's
to pay
on
for
the,
your own hotel?
No, but just get a buyout and get this hotel.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
a beautiful luxury
the one with the
hotel.
pool.
Yes.
Out. I snuck in there to use the gym. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do they allow dogs?
Probably.
I'm taking my dog.
It's like a 5-star hotel
Yeah, it's amazing.
for some reason in the
right.
port of Baltimore.
Yeah.
And be careful leaving the club going back at night because the street, well, maybe not in this weather, but I was there in the summer. It's like a Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Wait,
anyway.
you Rosebud.
I honestly can't find my dates, and they're not on my website yet. So
Rosebud's
I'm not on the
tour
road till
starts
May.
Well, you're doing gigs between then.
Yeah, I'm doing like little gigs here and there. Just I don't know. Like Google Rosebud Baker Tour 2025.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, 2025.
We all got Google.
Yeah. And
All
this
right.
weekend I'll be in Albany at the Comedy Works.
Great.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
For better or for worse. Worse. Worse.